This episode of Off the Clock is brought to you by Superpath.
So, welcome back to episode 3. This is another episode of Off the Clock, a show for marketers by marketers that has absolutely nothing to do with marketing. If this is your first time joining us, I'm Kaleigh, and I have two lovely co-hosts here who will tell you their names as well.
Jinx, you know me in alcohol.
Great work. So now that we've covered the names, this is going great. I think that if this is your first rodeo listening to us weirdos, thank you for joining us. And I think that we should just jump right into today's points of discussion.
Yes.
So the first one, I think, is I think we should start pretty weird. I want to start by asking, what is a weird or boring or unsexy hobby or interest you have, and where did it come from? So who wants to go first?
I feel like mine's too boring to go first.
So set it up.
Okay. I saw this in the notes stack and I thought about it a lot. But like I really love like running errands and like paying bills and doing really dull, boring adult things.
I wish you lived closer because you would help me get so much shit done.
And I would
feel
love
like
it.
You're the friend I would text, be like, do you want to hang out today and run 17 errands? And you're like, when do we start?
Yes. I love it so much. It's so relaxing. Like I feel like I get to just check stuff off of a list. It's all very boring, but it's just stuff you can get done fairly easily. And yeah, I just feel so good at the end of it. I love it. I love doing taxes. Like I love it.
Oh,
you're so interesting.
I think your brain is broken. I did go to Target today though, and I wandered aimlessly for like 2 hours, and it was beautiful. And I bought so many things I didn't need.
What did you go to Target for is the real question. We need the delta of what happened in between that.
I think it was just purely to explore. I wanted some mascara. I had book club last night, and I had a friend who was wearing a mascara that was like off the chain. Do people still say that? Also,
you do.
Let's ask Alyssa. Should we text her?
Let's get Alyssa.
I'm sure she would be like, "Girl, no."
100%.
She'd be like, "Absolutely not." Oh my god. But yes, I bought pants and laundry detergent and
very Target.
Tums.
Tums or Toms?
Did you leave with anything home decor related? That's usually what gets me.
And that is the mark of success. So.
Yeah. That means you have self-control because I can never leave without at least 7 candles, I feel like.
Ooh, or a fake plant that cost me $23.99 for no reason.
Right. I think you each have one in your background right now. Shout out to Target.
I have 1, 2 more. No, just 2. Yeah.
Oh, all of mine are out. Oh, this one. Oh, you can't see out of the screen. Just pointing into the abyss of my apartment.
Okay, so Krista likes running errands. What about you, Allie? What's yours?
The funny thing is, like, I don't dislike everything Krista listed. I think because it's so cathartic to me. I feel like I'm just getting stuff done, but that didn't come to mind.
Wait a second. Cathartic in like a release of emotion when you do these tasks?
Well, I think
do you sob when you go to Target?
No. I mean, like, I feel like throughout the week, all of this, like, I should be doing, like all these, like, have you ever walked around your apartment and you're like, oh, I meant to do this. Oh, I meant to do this. Like, here's that pile
every
of
day.
things.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So I think when I actually have like a Saturday morning or like a weeknight where I'm making moves on my to-do list. Yeah, it feels good.
Okay. That makes sense. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like a spiritual experience. If it was, that would be fine. I just was trying to gauge.
Every time.
Yes. Target. Okay. Oh, this just became the whitest podcast ever. Okay, go ahead.
Speaking of whitest, I can't wait to go through those Twitter replies, Krista. I'm so excited.
God.
We'll have to come back to that.
Kill me.
We will come back to that. I think mine is writing letters. I love snail mail. Like, I love like stationery a lot. Like, I think this is also because my love language is words of affirmation. So I love getting letters, but I write my grandma, like all my grandma's letters.
That's really cute.
And like, I love sending birthday cards in the mail because I feel like it's kind of a lost art.
Yeah.
It is.
You know, whenever you get mail, you're like, this is a bill, which Krista probably loves that, right?
Give me all your bills.
Okay.
God, another one.
Yeah. So that's mine.
Okay. That's a good one. I also like snail mail, and I wish that I had more people to write to. Maybe, Allie, I need to write you a letter.
It'll get to me in one day.
Yes.
Perfect.
So that's a good one. I think mine is like kind of the unsexy, boring stuff too. I lately have gotten into like rocks and minerals. So when I go to a museum, and I saw somebody ask this question on Twitter the other day, and they were like, I'm an adult human being. I'm trying to rediscover things that I think are interesting and cool to me as like outside of my family or whatever. How do I do that? And my first thought was like, what is the section in the museum that you go to and you want to linger the longest in? I feel like that's a good indicator. And so for me, it's rocks. So I've been went to the History Museum in New York City. I went to one in Chicago and looked at the rocks there. I don't know, it just makes me feel small. It's kind of like staring into space. And they're very pretty to look at too. So that's mine.
That.
But
rocks. I like it.
Also, I live in Illinois, and I'm not far from Fermilab up by Chicago. It's close-ish, but it's one of the particle colliders, and you can go and get a tour, and I did that a couple of years ago. And so I am not a physicist. I don't know about math at all, but doing like nerdy day trips like that has been really fun for me. So like going and taking the 3-hour tour of the lab facilities there and having them talk to us about like what they're doing experimentally and stuff like that. So I kind of think of it as like adult field trip day. That's been fun.
Yeah. That actually reminds me of another question I saw on our ideas doc, which is if you could go back to college, what kind of classes would you take? For fun, just for fun.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I think we need to preface this with the fact of like, when you go to college, it's like you're on a like trajectory to complete your degree. And so you have to take the required classes, right? But my freshman year, I went into college, I didn't have a major. And so they were like, take whatever you want. It'll make your college take longer. Great for us, bad for you. And so I did. And it was like the best year of college that I had. Did either of you ever have that experience where you just like took random classes?
No. The closest I got to that is I changed my major once. So I feel
from
like
what to what?
I changed it from like computer science to communications. So a pretty big leap. So all my like computer-y classes, I feel like it was for nothing, but you know, oh well.
Cool.
They weren't fun. Yeah.
Cool.
Very big leap.
Do you regret that decision?
Yes and no. I would
I love how you leaned into the mic like, I'm not sure.
Yes.
No comment.
I would like to see the world where I stuck with that major to see what that would have been like. But yeah, but I like where I am. So it's whatever.
I entered college undecided. I actually wrote a piece. I think I wrote like an op-ed or something for the school newspaper about why I thought that was a good idea. I don't really remember why I did that, but I was on scholarship though. So I had to get my stuff done in 4 years. So even the choice classes I took were still moving toward the direction of marketing. So I didn't have a lot of variety.
Another question is, did either of you go into college with college credits already?
Yeah.
I think I had like English, some kind of English credits. I can't remember. I'm too old. Too old to remember.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Distracted from the original question. I need to know what classes you would take.
Okay, I'll go first because I think about this a lot because I wish I could do this really badly. I would go back to some of my communications classes and retake them. Probably like interpersonal communications and nonverbal communications, stuff that's like a little bit psychology, but also communications.
So like interpretive dance?
No.
Joking.
Absolutely not. That made me nervous or something.
You're like, is that a thing? No.
No.
I 100% took a dance class in college.
Really? Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Was it transformative?
I was part of my scholarship program was more like arts and humanities based, or at least that's what most of the majors ended up falling in. And I was one of two students that was in the business school. But we had to take one like humanities credit a semester. So I guess I did have some choice, but they were all so dense. Like one was like 14th century women in Christianity. And my like final paper was like 40 pages. And then when I turned it in, she literally counted the pages and she gave it back. She's like, condense this to 2 and present on it next week. And let me tell you, I would rather write 40 pages than go backwards into 2 pages.
That's
like,
tough.
What the hell am I supposed to do? Anyway, the next one I did was it was like a dance and theater class. So like our school trip was to New York City. We saw Wicked, did some museums, but we had to present like a final score, like a dance presentation score thing. I don't remember any of it. It was so far outside my comfort zone.
So I guess that was to perform this dance.
Yeah, she assigned every group like a style. I think mine was like modern or something that was like somewhat achievable. But
so it was basically
had,
just like
ballet. Yeah, some people had like ballet, interpretive dance, like tap. Like all these kids that were like, "What the hell is going on?" Or like 20. Like, why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this?
That would have been my nightmare. Oh my gosh, good for you. Yeah, good for you for sticking that out.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I hear you, Krista, about like the going back to school thing or redoing classes. I think, honestly, if I could go back to school, I would go to a different school. I went to my college because I actually got paid to go to school. So it was a blessing, like not to have debt now, but it was in the same state I grew up in. I knew a lot of the same people there. It wasn't really the main program it was known for was nursing. So I didn't have any world-class like experiences or professors or connections or networking. It was still obviously a great education, but I think I'd go to a different school and I'd get to know like my professors and all those people more. One. And yeah. I might also have taken more like psychology classes. I'm super interested in that stuff.
Yeah. That's a good one. Krista, did you say more or did I just heckle you the whole time? Do you have more to say?
I feel like you're always heckling me, but no, I was just going to say those classes are interesting to me now because it's like the nonverbal class, for instance, it's like body language and eye contact and like learning how all of that is at play all the time. But then also I would love to take more like sciencey classes, like astrophysics would be really cool. That would be, yeah. Anything around that I think would be. Is this like just for fun?
I would want to know more, or I think I would want to do something with this in my career?
I think I just want to know more. I'm not smart enough to actually work in a field like that, but I do find it so interesting. And I always try to read books about it, but again, I'm like, I think I'm absorbing this. I don't know what it means, but it's so interesting. Yeah. What about you, Kaleigh?
I think I would probably just go and take a lot of the same classes that I took that freshman year that I really liked. So I had an art history class that was super interesting. It was like, look at this painting and let me tell you the backstory on it. So that was really good. I loved that one. Psychology, lots of philosophy. I took philosophy. I was a terrible student that year, so I didn't retain a whole lot, but now I go back and at night before I fall asleep, I watch YouTube videos about different philosophers and things like that. So that's sort of helpful. Still not retaining a ton, but interesting to watch. I like the quantum mechanics arena. Again, I'm not a math person. I don't understand the nuts and bolts of it, but I think it's really interesting to hear people who do talk about it. So I would like that. And then the other one is I wish I had more like literature classes where the teacher, again, gives you the context of like, here's what was happening in history when this book was written. And here's something you might not realize about this scene that the author was kind of touching on in the background between the lines and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess all of them is my answer. Everything except math sounds good.
Yeah, no, fuck math.
Yeah, math is the worst. I don't speak that language.
No. Wait, Allie, were you good at math? I feel like
I was good enough. Like I tested out of a bunch of AP math in high school, so I didn't have to take any.
Okay.
But I just got like a 3 on the test. I was a good student, but I feel like what that means is more as like I knew just how to do just enough. Like I knew, like I actually studied the syllabi in all my classes, like way more than more people. Cause I was like, what's the like bare minimum percentage I need to get an A? And how does that, like, what does that mean for the tests? Like I played the game. So I didn't really take any college level classes, but one of my good friends at the time was a math major because she wanted to be a math teacher. She is. But at the time we were like, what the hell are you doing? Like you go to every class is math. It's your whole life. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Definitely not.
No, thank you.
So wait, how did you get a full ride on your scholarship? I've never heard this story before.
Oh gosh. So little Allie started looking at schools when she was 14. I just was like, I loved like just getting to the next stage. That's what made sense to me. So I was like, the next stage of high school is college. And I was a good student. I really liked school, but I didn't have any expectations in terms of like scholarships. But when I was a junior, I went to this program in Kentucky every summer. They have something called the Governor Scholars Program. So it's like, I called it nerd camp, but it was actually really fun. It was actually really fun. It's like 6 weeks. Few colleges around the state host it. I was like, you get to pick a major and then like a sub major or something. So like I was a law major because I thought I was going to go to law school up until I started college. Law major. And then I was like a psychology sub major. And this just was like that you just took classes. You just did more schooling, but it was really fun. That if you get in even to GSP, you get a full tuition paid any in-state school. So by the end of my junior year, I knew I was going to stay in state. Wasn't thrilled by that. My dream schools were Vandy and Notre Dame, but it made sense. And then when I started to explore UK, there was a program called Singletary, which was 50 people out of a class of 5,000. So I applied. I had the ACT, I had the GPA, all that stuff, and I got it. So I got full tuition, full room and board. I got a stipend, an iPad, free like study abroad. It was like almost too good to pass up in a way. And it was a blessing like for my family and for me too. So I pushed forward with it and it was rewarding. I mean, the class was pretty tight. So you already like had friends going into school. And it was good.
So what was this 50-person program? Like what was the foundation of it?
It wasn't really anything. We had like a seminar, I guess, every week freshman year. And it was more like checking in because like it was like you had to have like a 3.8 GPA all through school. You had to take at least like 16 hours. So it was pretty demanding. So it was more of like, are you coping okay? But there really wasn't a basis of it. Like there was no shared foundation of like, you're all taking these classes for 4 years. Like I said, a lot of the students were arts and humanities. So senior year, we had a capstone that was specific to this program. A lot of the other kids had built-in capstones for their major that like double qualified. I didn't. So I had to write my own curriculum for my capstone, which was actually the basis of my first business that I sold. So it all ended up like coming together. But yeah, I mean, feels like a blip on the radar, but I think the biggest benefit for me was definitely financial.
Oh yeah. So. That's amazing. Did either of you ever think about going to grad school? Did you ever toy with that idea? Or do you still?
Yeah.
Not still. I've thought about it, but I don't think very seriously. I think for a while in my 20s, I was like, what do I even want to do with my life? Maybe I'll just go to grad school, but not like in a serious way. Even though it still seems appealing to just kind of like fuck off for a little while and go back to school, even though I know grad school is like hard or whatever, but
yeah. It's just kind of like,
it's not really like a vacation. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I was considering law school up until like the first year of college, and I just realized it wasn't for me, or like my personality. I thought about my MBA until I was doing Omniscient, and that to me is like kind of the same, like same experience, same exposure. You get paid instead of paying out $200,000. But like the student in me who would love a break from life is like, maybe just for fun. But if I'm going to go back to grad school, I probably wouldn't double down on what I already know. I'd probably want to learn something new.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What about you, Kaleigh?
I applied once. I worked like immediately after I graduated from undergrad. I was the PR manager for like a hunger relief organization. And so like a few months after doing that job, I was like, maybe I want to get my degree in like social work or something while I'm continuing to work. And maybe that'll help me advance here, blah, blah, blah. Ultimately, I just decided not to. I think at that point in my life, I was kind of tired of going to school, and the idea of going back wasn't super appealing. And I think I was getting used to the concept of like 40 hours a week in an office and being exhausted at the end of that and not really having enough left over to be a good student. And it's expensive too. And I was not making a lot of money at all. So it just kind of seemed like maybe I'll do it later. And then I never revisited.
I have a lot of friends who went to B school or are going to B school right now. And I continue to hear it's all about the connections that you make, which to me are the most valuable, right? Like if these are folks that'll change your career, get you to like 6, even 7 figures, like that's going to be worth 150, 200. But I don't know if it would personally benefit me from where I am and where I want to go. I think if I wanted like a reprieve from everyday life, I'd do like Peace Corps or something like that. That's just like truly like so different versus like, like I said, doubling down on marketing, the word we're not supposed to be saying in this podcast.
The thing we don't talk about.
Right.
That thing.
Yeah. I'm curious if like listeners have ever thought about it or if anybody listening has.
I was just thinking about that.
Let us know.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have.
I think in my head though, I have this vision of going back to college and it being like this cozy, like Gilmore Girls-esque, like Ivy League giant library experience, which is wildly unrealistic. It just sounds so amazing.
So amazing. I mean, schools like that exist. Schools like that exist. You could find a school like that.
It would probably be more like community though.
Probably. Yeah.
Which would also be fun, right?
If this is your like fantasy, you need
fantasy, to go to... though, I've got a cup of coffee at all times. I only wear sweatpants, like sweatshirts and sweatpants, probably with the school logo on it.
Of course.
I'm
so
in
it's
a cafe.
Never summer.
It's always
summer.
Fall. It's always fall, and that's it. The leaves are falling. Everything is beautiful. I mean, is this so much to ask? I don't think we're asking for a lot here. Does this exist? Can we opt in for like 6 weeks? Is that a thing?
That should be a thing. It should be a
thing.
Drop
in, pretend you're in college, attend some classes, mostly sit in the library.
In the fall, during the fall months.
Uh-huh.
How's that not a thing? Because like...
I don't know. I'm like, take my money.
Yeah, I would pay for that for sure.
Truly.
Yeah.
So if you could only do one class for like a semester, what would you choose?
Oh man,
that's a good question.
That is a good question.
I think I'd want to pretend to be an art student because I always wanted to do that in my undergrad, and that's why I did communications, because I could still take photography and writing and digital Photoshop stuff that I still don't know how to use. Thanks, college. But it was so fun because I was just like, oh man, so much to learn.
I think I would do the like astrophysics thing because like I truly
no big deal.
Just a quick class.
Just a quick dip.
In 6 months, or not 6 months, in 4 months, you'll know everything to know.
Right? No. But it's like, I know nothing about that topic. So to just be fully immersed.
Astrophysics 101. Class number 1. What does astrophysics actually mean? That's the whole first class.
You know what?
It's like the first H2 to a blog post. You have to define it first.
That's exactly. We're not talking about marketing. We're not going there. Stop SEOing this conversation.
I didn't say marketing. I didn't say the M word.
I take it back. I would take fucking SEO 101. Are y'all happy?
No.
Wow, how fulfilling. That's a bad choice,
you think
too.
There's actually a class on that now?
Probably.
There wasn't when I was in school. I was learning about the 4 Ps of whatever the fuck of marketing and the marketing mix.
We didn't even have like social media when I was in college.
No, the teachers were like, magazines and Marshall McLuhan and the medium is the message. And that was it. And I was like, we still doing this from 1975? Obviously that stuck though, so something worked. Something worked.
Wait, did y'all answer the question or were y'all just going to give me shit and then move on?
I didn't because I don't know. I would probably want to look at the course catalog.
Okay. She needs to assess first.
Yeah.
That was another benefit of my program was we got to pick classes first, like before the athletes, before the University of Kentucky basketball team. I got to pick classes before John Wall, bitches.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
Anthony Davis?
Nope.
I'm guessing he has a unibrow, but I'm not
Google
sure.
These
Maybe
people.
he has a finger on his forehead.
Coach Cal? No?
I should know these things because my in-laws live there. I should know this, but I absolutely
Well, they live in
not.
Louisville, so they're probably more like Louisville basketball, football fans. I went to UK, which is in Lexington.
Oh, that's the competition. That's the blue, not the red.
Yes.
It's all making sense now.
Go
blue team.
There you go.
Go my favorite sports team.
One class. Damn, I don't know. I can't. Psychology, maybe.
Commit.
Something about
psychology, maybe? That's not a class. I need you to commit.
That's what it's called, Krista. Okay. Yeah.
Psychology, maybe.
But you know how the classes were always named something so cool.
Yes, like they did have good
not the ones that built, not the ones that were like 101, 201, 301, like the one-offs. I would probably pick like a one-off and I'd probably pick by professor and who they were and what they knew. So I'm not going to answer that question at this time.
Okay. She needs more information to make a
I'm going to Google
response.
the Harvard 2024 course catalog and let you guys know.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
you for being so thorough.
When you described your ideal campus, it sounds like Harvard. Honestly.
I went to Harvard though, and it's not that nice. It's not that nice.
I'm thinking about like the quad and shit. I was up there in fall.
I'm thinking about like freshman yard, like by the library.
Are y'all just like walking around at Harvard? Why do y'all know what Harvard looks like?
It was close to where HubSpot was, so I would check it out when I was up there.
Okay. Oh, I'm so jealous.
College campuses.
That's a good way to make a choice.
Yeah.
Prettiest college
That's honestly, that'd be where I would start, and then I would check out the classes.
Or maybe coziest college campuses.
Baylor, we've got Flagler, Harvard. IU. Okay, my brother went to IU, which is in Bloomington, Indiana. It is stunning.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. It's where you least expect it. There is a private college in the town that I live in, and its campus was founded by 2 of the original people who went to Yale, and it is magnificent. It has the Gilmore Girls quality, I'm telling you.
Okay, well, that's where we're all going to go.
All right, so I'm currently looking at the IU scheduled classes for fall 2023. Okay,
guys, I feel like we're spending too long on this topic now.
All right, let's move on.
I think you're right.
We've really gone all in.
I will say back when I was in school, I graduated in 2016, there was still paper catalogs, and now they got to pick online. Not the same.
Yup.
It's Gen Zers.
Not the same. Not the same. No. We're dating ourselves now. Definitely time to move on before we lose our listeners. Oh my goodness.
Kaleigh, our listeners are here.
Allie, give us our next question.
How do you sleep at night?
When I saw that in the notes doc,
I feel vaguely threatened by that. I don't know why.
That always makes me think of Michael Scott because he's like, how do I sleep at night? He says it in reply to something. And then he tells you exactly how he sleeps at night.
Yes. Why don't you kick us off then, Kaleigh?
Sleeping for me is a whole thing. All right. I used to be good at it and now I'm not. And so now it's involving this whole process of like, I have to watch a boring PBS documentary before I go to, it's not boring, but it's like, you know, when they would wheel the cart into the classroom when you were in high school.
It was like Velcro to the top.
Yes. So it didn't fall off. Yes. So if you're 100 years old and you remember that, I would just be out like a light. And I was like, I have to do that now for my adult self to learn, but also to sleep. So we put on the PBS doc. There's a sound machine involved. I've tried essential oils. I make a nest in my bed, which is basically like a pillow blanket surrounding. I also sleep with a large golden retriever who's taking up more space than he should in the king size bed, but I'll live with it. And also like a little bit of medicinal assistance without being prescriptive here, but it's a whole thing. Do either of you sleep well? Like just easily?
No.
You do not. Okay. Let's hear your process.
You go next. What's your thing?
So yeah, I guess like definitely the last like 3 years, I either fall asleep within seconds, which is usually following an edible and or a really good workout. I've definitely like, if I go to the gym, it'll help me sleep. But with work and just doing all the things, it usually all hits me when things get quiet. I don't have a lot of like sleeping infrastructure. My husband is a total diva when it comes to sleep. So I just kind of like piggyback on what he does. But no, my biggest sleep hindrance besides stress is like my neck. So I've been trying all these different pillows. So if anybody has a good recommendation for a pillow, let me know, please, because I will probably get Instagram ads from this conversation and I can't decide. There's too many options. But no, I mean, I definitely have to sleep when it's cold.
Oh, yep.
I can't sleep with an eye mask. I don't know why. It's like, it bothers me.
Feels claustrophobic.
But I can't I'd rather sleep. I don't know about you guys, but like if the room is like fully lit from like the window or an overhead light, I'm fine. But if there's like one little light, it bothers me. It's like, I don't know why I pick up on like the light from the TV or something like that. So I have to make sure like all that is hidden. And then I just pray that sleep takes me away for 6 hours.
I just feel like I lay down and close my eyes at night and every worry, anxiety, stress that I've ever had in my life is like, here we go.
Yeah. Or like weird intrusive thoughts, like weird things that like, you can otherwise
dream.
Oh, I'm thinking like worse stuff.
Oh, cool.
Oh my gosh. Wait, like what?
No, I don't know. Like every horror movie I've ever seen, like I have a very photographic memory. Like I would rather read Stephen King than watch it. But like every like Insidious, like the scenes are like going through my mind. I'm like, I can't.
That's why I can't really watch a lot of scary movies anymore, I think.
Yeah. You can't unsee that stuff.
No, you can't. You can't.
So Krista, are you just over here sleeping like no big deal?
Like,
are you just like, I'm done?
I mean, not to brag, but like,
but yes.
No, I tend to fall asleep very easily. Like I don't have trouble falling asleep, but if I wake up in the middle of the night at all, then it's over. Like I can't go back to sleep. And then that's where my intrusive thoughts kick in. That's when like every embarrassing moment I've ever had in my life comes back to haunt me and everything I shouldn't be worried about, but I am. Like, yeah, that's when I overthink. But yeah, I don't know.
So do you pick up your phone then if you wake up in the middle of the night?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, what do you expect then? You know, that's game over.
Well, it's either pick up my phone and like
Andrew Huberman.
I don't know who that is, but I'm guessing he does look like that. I don't know who anybody is.
Okay, you should look up Andrew Huberman just so you can get that joke, if nothing else.
Okay, I'm doing it now.
Wait, I forgot the question.
You pick up your phone in the middle of the night.
Does that help? Well, it's either scroll through my phone or like read on my phone until I get so tired that I'll fall back asleep, or it's just lay there and overthink and never go back to sleep. So
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I have to I usually read like my Kindle app or like read stupid shit on BuzzFeed or something that's like not going to leave me with any extra weight, but it's like just enough of a distraction that my mind like shuts down a little bit. And then my body's like, yeah, you are tired, bitch. Like remember that you need to sleep.
Bitch, go to sleep.
They feel like two different entities sometimes. And I'm just like, it's we just cross collaboration? Come on.
I do find that baths help, and I use like a Epsom bath salt, so that sometimes will help just to kind of physically get me to relax. but also not. It also doesn't always work.
Also, not always.
So
it's terrible. I don't get it because my husband can he lays down and he's out in like 2 seconds, like snoring asleep.
Really?
And I'm like, what do I have to do to accomplish that?
Do y'all snore?
Hell no.
Austin would say yes. I say no.
Wait, then Austin would say you. I don't know if that's how that works.
I too am awake while I am asleep. No, he says I go like or something like that. I was like, no,
well, that's not. That doesn't count.
My breathe right strip guarantees I don't do that. I'm going to believe until I die. I don't breathe. Or I don't breathe. I don't.
Shout out to Breathe Right.
Don't breathe.
Looking for a sponsor. Get at us.
Sponsored by Breathe Right.
Sponsored by Breathe Right.
Strip every night.
Dumb. That's the most 30-something sponsor.
That's not the tagline.
Could be. Do you want to strip every night?
Strip, comma, every night?
That would be so funny.
It would be funny. Again, get at us. Just handing out free ideas here.
Someone tag them.
Let them know.
What is this? The fact that you can't say y'all?
Oh yeah.
Is that where we're headed next? We're gonna go from not sleeping to y'all.
It's the next bullet. I'm following orders.
Look. I live in Illinois, which is a northern state-ish. And although I live in a very rural area, I have a real problem with saying y'all. I feel like it's appropriation if I say it because I do not have the right to say it. However, if you go to the gas station in my town, you would think it was the Deep South because there's so much twang.
Then you can say y'all.
I just Illinois is solid Midwestern, and Midwestern is basically South light.
I just can't do it. I feel like even me saying y'all, like it's not good in my mouth.
If it doesn't roll off the tongue, normally that's like
y'all. Y'all, I feel like that's like an actor from another country doing an American accent and being very bad at it.
What is your native language?
So you just don't like to say it. You just don't like to say it.
I don't think it sounds good coming from me. And I don't feel like I have the right to say it. And I think I have a very real fear of being like seen as a country mouse. This is a big problem I have. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
That's me.
But I project this like city girl, like going out, doing stuff in the world, like accomplishing things. And my dog right now is like, bitch, absolutely not. He just called me out. I don't know if you all heard that. If you
just said y'all
heard that,
I said y'all.
Kaleigh honest.
You all heard
that. I think
I just can't do it.
I think you might be overthinking it.
I think I am so offended. I'm so offended. I'm going to have to leave this podcast episode. You appropriated my Kentucky upbringing, Kaleigh.
I'm sorry. I just can't do it.
You're
I can't do
it.
It sounds so charming when other people say it, but I cannot.
I will say that the past couple years, I've heard a lot of like non-Southerners adopting it just because it's like very inclusive because it's not gendered. So
that's a good point.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot more people are starting to say it. So if you're looking for an excuse,
it does save time also. You know, you're right. I love a conjunction.
I would just count up the seconds of how much time it saves. Like keep track. Yeah. Like Loom.
And then do a Twitter thread about it, right?
Yes.
So
I saved 14 hours in 2023 by saying y'all. Here's my think piece.
Okay. So
productivity
hack. I have one, and I want you guys to guess where this is from. Yins.
Oh, God. Like Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Okay. Yeah.
How did you know that?
I used to date a girl who said that. She was from Pennsylvania.
Yins. So is that another form of you all?
Or you guys or so? I don't actually know how the contraction
collective
or whatever is broken down. Yeah, my husband is a massive like Pittsburgh sports fan, so we went there for our 1-year anniversary. It was actually really fun, but all the signage and like the T-shirts and everything was like Yins. And I'm just like that.
I used to make fun of her so hard because it makes no sense whatsoever. Absolutely no sense.
All right, I'm gonna Google it. Yin's origin.
Okay, so then do you have any other local vernacular that you feel is part of your everyday lexicon? Look at those big words I'm pulling out.
Yeah.
You're so smart.
Thank you. It's because I've been going to college in town. And by going to college, I mean literally walking on the college campus. And that's it. Just osmosis learning. Yeah.
So before we move on to our additional lexicon, I'm going to read the yin's origin.
Okay.
Apparently, it is representing a regional pronunciation of yuans, a plural form appearing in Appalachia. I should probably know that. In the Midwest from the early 19th century. But then another result says it's from the original Scots-Irish form of use ones.
That's the same thing.
Again, none of that makes sense.
I forget that Western Pennsylvania is part of like Appalachia. So like Eastern Kentucky, if you guys know anything about that, it's pretty desolate, like pretty back in the times. But it stretches up through Virginia. And I forget that it goes all the way up to Pennsylvania. So I guess that makes sense why that's far reaching. But now I feel like it's specific to Pennsylvania. Like when I said that, you're like Pennsylvania, like not regional, it's like state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, lexicon.
Yes.
Big words.
I don't know that I have any being in Illinois. I feel like it's just kind of like standard. No special words.
Mine's
that
mostly
I can
y'all.
think of.
Y'all.
I think that's really the only identifier that I'm from the South. I don't think I have another. I don't have any additional accents, do I?
Not that I know of.
Do I?
I don't hear any. Did you used to have an accent, Allie?
No, Austin says sometimes, like when I come back, my language sometimes gets like lazier. Like I won't say like any words that end in ing. I'll just end at the end. I'll end at the end.
I have a tendency to do that too.
But I don't think it's super pronounced.
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
What about you, Louisiana?
Yeah. You have Cajun roots. Do you speak French?
No, I know a few Cajun French words because
such
a fascinating subculture to me.
It really is.
It is so fascinating, and I wish I knew more about it.
The food is
the food is A+.
So good.
Both of my grandmas and their parents were like fluent Cajun French and French. So it really makes me mad that I don't know more or that they didn't teach me. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I have a question. So is Cajun French and Creole the same thing?
I think so. I will have to fact check that.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll fact check it.
I think those are like similar, and then they're just like slightly off from like Canadian French.
Oh.
Yeah.
I went to Google it, and one of the suggested searches was, is Creole and Old Bay seasoning the same?
Interesting result.
Cajun French,
I would say
is a
Old
commonly
Bay
used
is a Creole seasoning.
That's a good one too. If you ever put it in potato soup, you will be very happy.
Interesting.
Put it in everything.
Put it in everything. Anyways, please continue.
Creole.
You can't get through a single answer today.
I know.
Listen, guys, I'm trying to produce here.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Creole generally refers to individuals born in Louisiana. But Cajun French is commonly used. Oh, that's all right.
We're going to have to circle back to this. We're going to have to circle back to this answer.
This makes no sense.
I'll fact check it. I'll text some folks.
You are okay.
But we have we have words that we know and say a lot, but I don't think anything that anybody would know.
So you know how search generative experience on Google is only available for like personal Google profiles and not workspaces, or maybe it's still rolling out for workspaces. So I switched to my personal Google and I used SGE. Apparently it's a differentiation between the races in Louisiana.
Okay.
Would you agree?
Maybe. Again, I don't know enough about my own culture, but that sounds right. They are different, whether it's language or races. I do know that.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's like sub definitions here, depending on like how you would differentiate between the food, the cuisine, the people, the language. So we'll do some more digging and get back to you, listeners.
Welcome to our Louisiana culture podcast.
That's every episode from here on out.
That's it. That is it.
We're going to have a whole episode about Old Bay.
Yes. Recipes, why it's good, what it tastes like.
H2's of a blog post right now.
Allie,
100%.
you have to put
You have to stop it, though.
much money in the work talk jar. You're really
We do need one of those.
We do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You owe us like $15 or something.
What is it? $5 per blog post mention?
It's expensive.
Yeah.
I'm just trying not to breathe heavy or Ronnie's going to get me. So I guess I keep stepping backwards. I'm like, oh, okay.
We're really working on polishing up this production. I hope
Guys,
you all
I'm just
appreciate.
a normal girl. I'm not a podcaster.
We're just normal girlies.
I'm just here having a drink with my friends.
Just having a drink. But speaking of, I think this is a nice place to wrap up. We've covered the basis today of, let's see, sleeping and why is it so hard? If we could go to college, Old Bay. What am I missing?
That's
y'all,
it.
yins.
Y'all, yins. Truly, we've covered the bases here. So cheers to our listeners. Come on, hurry up.
Cheers,
There we go.
cheers.
Hyper cheers. Thank you for watching Off the Clock. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you listen or watch. And please tell your friends. And we will love you if you do that. This episode was produced by Josh Amar and Ronnie Higgins. Until next week, bye. We love you so much.
Bye.
That's not weird to say, right?
Bye.
No.